Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is a special broadcast. Today, we are in the midst of our holistic life coach training. You've heard me talk about it, and we actually do it. So, we have an amazing group of people this week meeting at the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. I mean, if you're going to have a retreat, you want to be in Loveland, don't you? And so, we're talking a lot this week about leaps of faith. A lot of our coaches in training are either going through leaps of faith or have gone through them, and they can be scary, but they can also be really exciting. So we're going to talk today about leaps of faith that work. I'll tell you one for me, and then we'll invite our coaches up one by one, and they can share. When I was a young man, I was very involved in Judaism. I was a teenager at the time, and I was into very strict Orthodox Judaism. And after about 7 years, the wonder and beauty and importance of it wore off. And I remember one night, it was a fast day, and I was not supposed to fast, but I didn't know why I was fasting. So I thought, fear is not a good enough reason to do a religion. So I ate a piece of cake, and that was the end of Judaism for me. But it was also the beginning of my spiritual path, because when I left organized religion behind, I went off and I explored Zen and mysticism, and I went to Jesus meetings, and I went to see shamans and mystics, and a whole new world opened up for me that would not have opened up if I had been in this little box that I felt like I was in. So letting go of organized religion was really the beginning of my major spiritual path that has carried me through to meet with you today. So it was scary. But it was also extremely exciting. So everything has a downside, but most of all, it has an upside. So let us invite, we're going to invite Carrie up, and they'll just come and sit in one by one, and I think you'd be very interested in their stories.
Hello, my name is Carrie, and my leap of faith story started a little over 10 years ago. I was living in my home state of Colorado in a ski town, barely making ends meet. It got to the point where I asked my brother, who lived about 2 hours away, to come up and bring me groceries that would last me a couple of weeks. And I knew at that time it was time for a change. I just didn't know what that change was or where it would take me. And I started renting videos at the local library. Very small library, but I picked out a video for National Geographic Cities, and they featured Seattle. And I then looked at companies in Seattle, found a company that was within an industry that I had worked in previously, ended up getting an interview for a job, and I flew out to Seattle, and they said, "You'll go back, we're going to offer you something." So I knew, even though I had only seen the airport and the airplane that got me there and back, I knew that I would accept this position. And 2 weeks later, I was in a U-Haul making phone calls to apartment buildings for where I could live in Seattle. So it was a huge leap of faith to go and move to a city that I actually had never experienced. That leap of faith has led to 10 wonderful years with a company that has given me more opportunities than I could have ever imagined. And my journey with this company continues. That's my leap of faith story. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, this is Gay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gay, and my leap of faith happened in December of 2019 when I left my long-time profession of being a hairdresser and makeup artist, and deciding that I was going to let go of that and really embrace full-time my health coaching career. And after I became certified as an integrative health coach, I decided that, there's something still missing. And so I came across Alan's program and decided that life coaching was really going to fill in the gaps for me. But to segue into another big leap of faith in the midst of all of the COVID chaos, my husband and I just purchased a home virtually in another state. And there was a lot of trust involved, and it has worked out so incredibly well. I mean, better than my wildest dreams. So I'm very excited about the future. And sometimes you just got to trust your gut and go with the flow. So that's my story. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Linda.
Hey, beautiful spirits. I just want to go over what a leap of faith that I went in the past that did work. And I'm a physical therapist, and I left that field to work with a CEO. And it was 12 years that I was out of that work as a physical therapist. And we flew all over the country. It was a very exciting job. But then it came time for me to leave that job. And what I had to find a way was to go back into physical therapy. And it took a leap of faith, a big leap of faith, especially the number of years I had been out of it. Very scary, but I just kept persevering, and it worked. And so now I'm looking at taking another one, and I want to go into life coach, holistic life coach. And Alan is a beautiful, beautiful teacher, very spiritual, and that's what I wanted to get back to, is the beauty of spirit. Thank you.
Okay, this is Alex.
Hello, everyone. So the leap of faith that I ended up taking happened about 6 years ago when I was having severe panic attacks at work. It was really impacting my job, surprisingly. And I ended up deciding to see a therapist. And I've now been seeing this therapist for about 6 years. I remember sitting down for my very first meeting with this individual and was totally not sure what I was going to say, what I was going to talk about. And it has been the best 6 years of my life. I've explored so much about myself. I've learned so many new things about my own mind and how my past experiences have shaped me. And it's actually led me here to this life coaching training with Alan. And I'm taking another leap of faith to start my own life coaching business. And so all I'm here to say is that when you start taking leaps of faith, you'll probably won't stop. They're just so great. It's a lot of fun. It's really scary, but it just gets easier and easier and better. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. So my leap of faith was a relocation. I moved last year from New York to North Carolina, and it was just a point in my life where I didn't really have any attachments to New York anymore and needed a change. And I was determined just to give it my all, just jump in with both feet. Gave notice at my job that I would be leaving at the end of the year, looking for another job. I didn't really have a plan, but I felt that I'd be supported no matter what I did. And sure enough, I was. After a few months, my employer actually offered me a different position within the company that they'd allow me to do remotely. So I had job security moving. I had family who took me into their home for 9 months till I could figure out my living situation in this new state. And it was an opportunity for me also to learn to receive, because I wasn't alone. Through the whole entire process, I was supported by friends and family, my employer, and of course, Spirit. And here I am with Alan, learning to support others as best I can. Good luck with your leaps.
This is Kathy, who had a leap of faith given to her.
Hello, everybody. And Alan's right. My leap of faith was given to me. But prior to that leap of faith, I had a leap of faith 30 years ago and $200 and started a special events catering business. And so as I was divinely guided through this process, 30 years later, I am a number 5 caterer in San Diego on the top 10 list. And 2019 was our best year in business, and 2020 hit, and so did COVID. And so basically, after looking at reality, decided that we needed to shut our doors. But in that, I knew that it was something that was guiding me in a whole nother direction. And I had to really take that leap of faith and say, I'm shutting down and I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going, but I'm going. And then this life coaching course came up, and it was another very big leap of faith. I had no idea where I was going, what I wanted, what the future was going to hold. And 2 days into this, I now have some clarity, and I know that there's another path for me, and it's an exciting one now. So the fear has been amazing. Matter of fact, even the day before coming to this retreat, the voice of fear was telling me, "You're nuts. What are you doing? You're going to make a fool of yourself. This is crazy." But I did it anyway. So the fear was, you can hear that fear, but just do it anyway.
Yay. Beautiful. This is Katie.
Hello, beautiful people. All right. My leap of faith took place about 15 years ago. I was a mom of young children, and I had a failing marriage. I was working part-time, and I was also taking care of my aunt out of state. I was her guardian, and I then became her executor when she passed. And I had a lot on my plate, and then my marriage ended. And it really, really, really rocked my world. And I, at that point, decided to do something totally counterintuitive. And I decided to leave my part-time job and have no job. And my only job was to take care of me and take care of my children and find myself again. And I remember when I was leaving my company, the company put on a going away lunch for me. And I had mixed feelings in that I loved my job, and I loved the company I worked for, but I just knew in my bones that I needed this time. But we were at this lunch, and we had ordered Payway, so we had fortune cookies. And I remember I was seated at the top of the table, the end of the table, and I literally could see like a cliff in front of me. That is how much I felt like I was literally leaping off a cliff by doing this. And I opened up my fortune cookie, and it said, "You are headed in the right direction." And it was such a wonderful affirmation. So 3.5 years I spent doing all the things I said, going after my passions, taking care of myself, taking care of my kids. And I ended up going back to that same company, to that same job. And my boss said when I got back, he said, "You know what, Katie, I was so worried about you. I was so worried about you financially. But now that I see you and I see the spirit with which you're coming back and how you are absolutely glowing, I know it was absolutely the right thing for you." So here I am on another precipice. I went into that same boss just a month and a half ago and gave him notice again. And here I am in Alan's life coaching training and about to take another leap into my new career as a life coach. So God bless you, and may the Spirit direct each and every one of you to exactly the right thing for you.
This is Christine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christine, and I'm going to date myself here, but I'm going to take you back about 25 years. But some of you may be able to relate to the fact that sometimes you follow a spouse or a partner into a new location because of their job opportunities. And I was working here in Colorado for a very well-known corporate company, working directly for one of the family members that ran the company. And my husband took a job, a better opportunity down in Dallas. And so I found myself having to leave. We didn't have the remote working like we do today. So, but I had to leave my corporate job and go to a brand new location in support of his job, and as a dutiful wife, that was, and still to this day, was a good decision that I made. But once we were down there and and making new friends and just trying to make a life for our family. I was really asking spirits or the powers that be to help me find something that would help me to feel inspired. And I was reminded of this the other day because I am about to embark and take a leap of faith in my present day. But just to follow up, back then I had been asking in praying for a job that would help me. And out of the blue, I just got a call from somebody I didn't even know. And he had been referred to me from someone that was sort of a mutual friend. And long story short, it was a scary thing to embark on, but it led me into the financial services industry. And I ended up being in the top 10 of producers in the country, top 20 maybe sometimes. But I had a very successful career, and then I basically spun that off into a consulting business. So that was a big leap of faith, going from something that I loved and felt like I was being challenged in my corporate job, but then having Spirit hear me and provide me with something that was challenging and was a very good living. So fast forward to present day, and I am feeling the need to take what I have learned and shared in the past with my consulting. And I'm in Alan's life coach training. And again, it was sort of like the angels nudging my back and saying, you're ready for a change. And I'm leaving a 40-year relationship and going out on my own. So to be continued, but it's the biggest leap of faith yet. But whatever you're contemplating, even if you have concerns or trepidation, just trust it. Trust in your gut that you are moving in the right direction. And God bless you all.
Thank you. And this is Stephanie, moving from Brooklyn to Texas.
Hi, wonderful beings. Thanks for being with all of us today. So my leap of faith is moving from or becoming aware of my heart's calling and my true desires, and moving away from what I was doing was massage therapy for a long time, and just feeling like that was not very fulfilling to myself. And I had to be really honest. This whole COVID thing and the quarantine really led me to a deep level of introspection and the courage to, well, actually, if I say courage, the job actually closed down. So it was kind of like gave me that extra nudge of like, you're not going back there. And there's no better time to actually go with what it is that you really want to do. So, leaps of faith, joining this life coaching program for sure is a huge one, because it's more in alignment with living in my purpose of awakening the God realized being that I am, living in alignment with that, trusting in Spirit, allowing Spirit to guide me, and trying to help other people do the same, right? To awaken humanity, to elevate our consciousness, to bring us together to the wholeness of who we are. And right now, my leap of faith, I'm moving from Brooklyn to Texas, which is a huge leap of faith. I've never lived anywhere else, and I'm doing it right before my 33rd birthday, my Jesus year. And I'm just, I don't feel afraid of it. So I know that this is divinely guided, and I encourage you to always tune into that. Always come from here and align here with your heart, and you will always be guided. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jen. About a year ago, I took an enormous leap of faith. I woke up one day and I found myself feeling completely disconnected, really unhappy, and just a shell of my former self. And I realized I needed to make some serious life changes. So I ultimately decided to walk away from an established career of nearly 20 years. And my career was a big part of who I was and how I perceived myself in the world and how I showed up. And I did so without having a backup plan, without having another job, and quite frankly, without even having an idea of what I wanted to do next. But that leap led to this beautiful, beautiful thing. It helped me to find the space to rediscover and to reinvent myself, to learn how to love myself again, to live more authentically, to find my purpose. And it really opened me up to a massive spiritual awakening that has really redefined who I am. It also gave me the space to think about my fears and all the challenges I've faced in a really different way, and to work through them in a way that was so purifying, so cleansing, and allowed me to completely release them so I could truly move on and put them behind me. And so 1 year later, I'm so lucky to be on this beautiful new path where I've discovered this incredible holistic life coach training, where I am surrounded by an inspirational teacher in Alan, just an absolutely amazing and inspiring group of peers, at the perfect time in my life and the perfect program for me. So I would say, if any of you out there are considering a leap of faith, don't just leap, soar, because you've absolutely got this.
We have Matt. We actually have men in the group. Can you believe it?
Hey,
Good men too.
my name's Matt Lyon. It's so great to be here. I don't know if you've ever looked in the mirror and had the thought, there's so much more to my life. And I had that experience. I had a really big chiropractic clinic, but I knew there was more. And so I took the leap of faith to sell that business, and but hung on to certainty, and got hired for a job that moved me out to Colorado, which ended 11 weeks later. I was laid off 11 weeks later. So my leap of faith is staying with the process. You know, I love in the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talks about. You know, it's not like I just started off on this journey to Colorado and it was this super easy triumph thing. I've had to meet a lot of opponents, inner, outer, and my choice is to stay with the process. And Alan's course, this holistic life coach training, is a symbol of that for me, to go deeper, to go deeper, to go deeper, to say yes to the adventure of my life. I love how Joseph Campbell would always say, will you say yes to the adventure of your life? So I'm here. My wife and I are going to start a new chiropractic business integrated with this coaching model I'm learning from Alan. And I just wanted to send you all lots of love. Here's Alan.
Well, you can see we have an amazing, amazing group, very conscious, committed, loving, beautiful, honest people that I feel very honored to be with. So I want to honor all those people who took the leap of faith to get here, not just to this program, but to this space in their life and to come to this program as well. And, you know, we're all in this together. And A Course in Miracles tells us when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. So when you step forward with trust and faith, you actually lift everyone who looks upon you by giving them example of holding a higher hand. And of course, someone once said that all healing occurs outside the safe zone. So if you're just busy hanging out where it's safe, you're not going to grow that much. But whether you choose to leap yourself or life chooses to leap you, it doesn't matter, because there's this force of evolution that's always moving us to a higher rung of our existence. So I'm so grateful to be with these amazing people this week, and I'm so grateful to be with you every week too. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was kind of an unusual show, but I think it had a lot of benefits. So I love you all. I thank you for tuning in. I like the image of us all holding hands as we climb the mountain together. We're all coming home together. Love you lots. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. So everybody say aloha. Aloha. Perfect. Thank you very much.